Hey guys, this is Princess Anime 64 and welcome back to my character analysis series. In today's video, we are going to be looking at Caius from Final Fantasy 13-2. So let's get started. Looking at Caius's profile, his crystal affinity is black and he uses broadswords. His spears are A, C, and D, and his roles are melee, attacker, and debuffer. So looking at his stats, so when you first recruit him, his HP is 900, initial bravery is 180, he has a max bravery of 525, his attack is 180, and his defense goes up to 170. So when he gets to level 70, and when you have all of his gear equipped, his HP goes up by 4,716, initial brave is 2,471, max brave is 3,697, attack is 869, and his defense is 1,170. As for his overall stats, so his highest stats are his max brave, his attack, and his initial brave. His defense is a little on the neutral side, and so is his speed, and his HP is pretty low. Going over to his skills, so Caius' first skill is Pulsar Burst. It's a 3-hit melee brave HP attack that grants Guardian for 4 turns and 1 level of Body and Soul for 2 turns, maximum being 5. When you have 5 levels of Body and Soul, it will change into Pulsar Burst Plus, and while Heart of Chaos effect is active, it will raise Caius' max brave and his attack, and enemy attacks do not drop his HP below 1, so he'll be able to survive, and then it restores his HP if it's less than 1%, but this will also cancel the Heart of Chaos effect. His second skill is Eye of Bahamut, which is a 2-hit melee brave HP attack that inflicts max brave down 1 chaos, defense down 1 chaos, and poison chaos for 3 turns, and it also inflicts doom chaos for 2 turns. This will also raise his body and soul level and duration by 1, and it will become Eye of Bahamut Plus when he has 5 levels of body and soul. Next is his Crystal 65 ability called Set Doom Crush. It's a 2-hit melee brave HP attack that will inflict Doom Chaos for 1 turn. And what Doom Chaos is, it's basically like the Doom debuff. As soon as the debuff is gone, enemies will be broken and they'll be pushed back a turn. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the extensions, and Pulsar Burst, there's definitely a lot to go over with this one. So Pulsar Burst will add 6 brave hits, it adds an increased cumulative brave damage, and it has a 150% max brave overflow. So Pulsar Burst Plus will add 8 hits instead. It still has the cumulative brave damage, but it also has a 180% max brave overflow instead. So when using Pulsar Burst when using Pulsar Burst Plus, hold on a moment. Okay, I had a little error on my script, but yeah. So Pulsar Burst Plus will also extend his buffs by 2. And then when Body and Soul, it will change Brave Attack into Brave Attack Plus, which is just 2 hits with higher Brave damage, and HP Attack will change into HP Attack Plus, which is just a 2-hit melee Brave HP attack. So then when you have 3 levels of Body and Soul, Brave Attack will change, Brave Attack Plus will become Brave Attack Plus Plus, which is now 4 Brave hits, and HP Attack Plus will be right over here. So HP Attack Plus will change into HP Attack Plus Plus, which is now 3 Brave hits with higher Brave damage, and it has a 120% max Brave overflow. So with Eye of Bahamut extension, you get 1 extra use out of it. Eye of Bahamut will now have 4 Brave hits with higher Brave potency. It has a 150% max Brave overflow and will deal 20% splash damage to non-targets, and it also inflicts the debuffs on all enemies. With Eye of Bahamut Plus, it's basically the same thing, but only changes are you do 6 hits instead, and there will be 50% splash damage on all targets. So now going over to Caius' gear, his 15 CP is called the Oath Guardian. This will add a Brave Damage boost, a Guardian boost, and 1 level of Body and Soul when using Pulsar Burst or its Plus variant. His 35 CP is called Chaos' Revenge. This will add a Brave Damage boost and 1 duration to the max Brave down Chaos, Defense down Chaos, and Poison Chaos, and it adds 1 level of Body and Soul. And we have his EX weapon, which is called the Soul of Chaos. This will grant him the EX skill called Inferno, which is a 5-hit AoE melee brave HP attack. It raises brave damage on single targets. It has a 150% max overflow. It deals split damage, and it launches the target as well. This will also grant him 2 levels of Body and Soul for 4 turns, and it becomes Inferno Plus with 5 levels. Next up we have his armor, which is Caius' boots. This will add 110 to his initial brave and add 72 to his attack. Okay, so now checking out his artifacts. In terms of stats, you do want to go with the usual duo of attack 108 and max brave 330. As for his unique passives, it's flexible depending on which one you want. You can go with Mighty Pulsar Burst, Mighty Eye of Bahamut, or you could go with the Hero Padra boost. I would say though, my personal recommendation would be to try to get the Hero of Padra boost, especially if you're like really confident in knowing that he's not going to take any HP damage. That's really going to help him out as well. And they do synergize well with his initial brave and his attack. So that's just what I would recommend. Okay, so now we're going to check out his EX passives. So at 1 out of 3, he gets Inferno Power. This will raise brave damage with Inferno or its plus variant. At 2 out of 3, he gets Inferno Buff Plus, which will grant him Curse of Eternity for 6 turns. Curse of Eternity will raise Caius' initial brave and his max brave, and it also extends self-granted buffs by 2 turns. Then at 3 out of 3, he gets Inferno Recast Up, which just raises recast speed. Alright, so now talking about the realized passives. So at 0 out of 3, he gets Inferno Force Advance Plus Plus. This will raise Brave Damage and Max Brave Overflow limit for Caius. And his Brave Attack Plus will change into... Brave Attack Plus and Double Plus will raise the Brave Damage, and it grants 1 level of Body and Soul when he breaks a target or if he attacks a broken target. Same thing with HP Attack Plus and HP Attack Plus Plus. At 1 out of 3, he will get Chaos Unleashed Extend Attack Boost Up, which just raises his max brave and his attack. At 2 out of 3, he gets Pulsar Burst and Inferno Buff Start. So this will allow him to begin a quest with the Curse of Eternity and Guardian for 6 turns, and 3 stacks of Body and Soul for 4 turns. Alright, so then at 3 out of 3, he will get Inferno Brave HP Hit Plus Force Delay Plus. So Inferno or Inferno Plus will become a 4-hit AoE Melee Brave HP attack that is triggered twice. It raises Caius' Brave based on 20% of the HP damage dealt after the first HP attack, and it also delays the target by 1 turn and raises Brave potency of Inferno and Inferno Plus. And we have his bonus spear, which is full HP base attack up. It is an A spear that raises initial brave and attack by 5% when HP is at max. Okay, so the banner that will be featuring Caius' weapons will also be featuring Null's 15, 35, and his EX, and also features Lisa's 15 and 35. Around at this time, Null will also be getting EX+, so I'm also going to talk about that. So looking at the realized passives for Null, at 0 out of 3, he gets Meteor Javelin Buff Up, which will raise the max Brave Overflow limit, as well as the Power to Seize the Future buff. And then at 1 out of 3, he gets Power to Rewrite the Future Extend Boost. So this will slightly raise his max Brave, and that's pretty much all it does. At 2 out of 3, he gets Gale Fang and Meteor Javelin Buff Start. So he will begin the quest with the Power to Seize the Future buff and 2 stacks of Last Hunter for 6 turns. Then at 3 out of 3, he gets Meteor Javelin Force Fierce Siphon Plus. So it's, wait, hold on. Okay, wanted to make sure I was recording. So it lowers the target's Brave by 3 out of 5, so it's like around 70%. It adds 4 Brave hits. It raises Brave potency more than Fierce Siphon and lowers turn delay when attacking a broken target. And then when breaking a target, it nullifies turn delay, and he gets a free skill use on the next turn. And we have his A Spear, which is breaking attack up short. So this will raise attack by 15% for 3 turns when attacking a broken target, and the same spears don't stack. Alright, so the boss that we have for Caius' event is called a Metal Drum. It's a Gigas type enemy, and there are 2 of them that you'll be fighting, and it's weak to wind. So some of its usual attacks that previous Gigas enemies have had, there's Brave Attack, there's Lunge, there's Fyra, or I think the one that you fought in Chapter 3 had Blizzara instead, but it also has Boulders and it has Wallop and Shoulder Thrust. So some of the new attacks that it has, this one specifically, there is Metal Quake, where it raises its Brave if its initial is low, and then follows up with an AoE Magic Brave HP attack. Then it has Goken, where it will recover from Break, follows up with a melee Brave HP attack, and then it grants a Brave barrier to itself. So it's kind of similar to the barrier that Zack gets with his EX. So it's going to be kind of annoying to try and break the barrier for this. So that's kind of where Caius' Doom Chaos debuff comes in. And then other than that, it has Tekaiken. I hope I pronounced that right. It's a melee Brave attack where it just raises its Brave. And then it has G Saisho, where it's a melee Brave attack that grants Iron Cluster. When it's considerably worked up, it will raise its attack, its speed, and initial Brave. When it's intimidating this way, it raises all of its stat. And then further intimidating will raise its stats even more. So some alternatives you can use for this event. I wanted to go with more of a, because there's two of them, you kind of want to try and use characters that deal like split damage or splash damage or just hits two targets at the same time. So for starters, in terms of Lost Chapter synergy, we've got Porum coming back, or she's already back, I should say. So you can use her for this event. She's still a really great unit. You can use Zac as well, just to play as the tank and just to kind of divert their attention away from the other party members that you have. You could use someone like Yuri or Cloud who do split damage. You could use Beatrix as well, or you could just go with everyone's favorite Dragoon, Aranea. So that's just kind of like to give you some ideas. So now I'm going to head over to Opera Omnia JP, and I'm going to showcase Caius' skills. So give me a quick second. Okay, so we're back in Opera Omnia JP now. So we are actually on Arc 2, Chapter 4, because Caius' Lost Chapter has not officially dropped in JP yet. Heck, we don't even have X-Death yet. But yeah, it's because of the whole COVID-19 pandemic, so some events and Lost Chapters have been delayed. So I have my Caius over here. I just have a pretty standard build on him. I didn't really fully invest into him. And I've got Noel over here, same thing as before. I didn't invest into him all that much. I didn't really have his EX. And then I have Lise over here, so she's sort of built up. I just haven't really put much time into her. So we're going to start with Arc 2. We're doing the final node on Arc 2, Chapter 4, so we'll be fighting the Emperor and Cerberus. And I'm going to showcase Caius' abilities. So the first thing you may have noticed is this mysterious little eyeball thing. So this is the Heart of Chaos effect over on Caius' head. So if he takes any sort of HP damage that could potentially kill him, it will leave him at 1 HP, and then it heals him greatly, and then the effect will just go away. I'm going to begin with Lise first. I'm going to do this. I forgot that does splash damage. Alright, so we're going to start off with a Pulsar Burst. So now he has the Guardian buff on him, and he has 2 levels of Body and Soul. I'm going to hit you. A little wave attack, and then I'm going to demonstrate, oh wait, I probably shouldn't have HP attacked with Lise, dang it. Oh well. So here's the Eye of Bahamut, and these were the debuffs that would be inflicted on him, which is really nice, you know, and they're all framed as well, so they won't be taken away by enemies that do remove buffs. Alright, so now we have the final boss over here. I'm gonna get rid of Emperor first. Okay, at least I tried to. Alright, so I'm gonna do Eye of Bahamut again. So yeah, you can see he did splash damage as well. And there was the Doom counter. So actually, you know what? I'm gonna do this again, because I want to show off the Doom counter. So he attacks, and then he gets pushed back a turn. Same with the Emperor. I'm gonna get rid of the Emperor first. Alright, and now since we have 5 levels of Body and Soul, Pulsar Burst and Eye of Bahamut now have plus variants. Now I'm also going to do Set Doom Crush to show off what it does. And then our EX is going to take some time to what's it called, to be ready. So yeah, he didn't really do much to us. Alright, I'm gonna do another one again. I just want to see if his EX is... Ooh, almost. Yeah, you know what, let's just, like, finish it off right here, because, the thing about Caius is that his EX, recast is kind of slow, and even if you do, like, what's it called, get up to 6 stars, it's still pretty slow. I wouldn't say it's, like, sync slow, but still pretty slow. So that pretty much covers up everything for Caius, so thank you guys very much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video.